Hey yo, GOAT format players, it's Skilled Brown Magician here, and it's been a while, but I have another deck profile for you. And this one is for my sub Fez Ferrari, who is actually a good homie of mine in real life, and I think he's angry about MLB The Show right now. I can hear him in the room next to me. Okay, so this deck profile, it is a deck that I've been meaning to do for a long time, just because it's Final Countdown. I mean, it's one of the most notorious win conditions in GOAT format, and I mean, it's a classic stall deck, and I've always wanted to build one, and I've always wanted to build one around Big Shield Gardna because I just love this card so much. So this card, aside from Final Countdown, obviously, Big Shield Gardna is one of the stars of the deck, and I have this just rounded out with all of these really fun traps to play and to spring on your opponent. So let's check out the profile. So I'm running my one monster wall, which is going to be Big Shield Gardna. His effect is so good, especially with this deck, because you really want to protect your two other cards that you're going to be setting. So this card's effect is when a spell card's activated that targets this face down card, aka knock. Quick effect, you just change him into face up defense and he negates the knock. And then when he's attacked, he's actually changed into attack position at the end of the damage step, where we have so many ways in this deck to protect him from being attacked into again. Okay, so he blocks knock, which is really important because you're blocking knock for Cyberjar and your Morphing Jar to go through. Cyberjar and Morphing Jar, it just allows you to draw so many more cards, which is exactly what you need in this kind of deck, where you're just setting entire hands. So, because Big Shield, it's a level 4 warrior, searchable with Rhoda, so that's why it's the only monster that we need. As far as draw power, we have double upstart because we don't care about life points. We're just trying to win via Final Countdown. Obviously, Pot of Greed, Graceful. And then our win con of the deck, Final Countdown. You pay 2,000 life points, and after 20 turns have passed after you activate this card, counting the turn you activate this card as the first turn, you win the duel. So essentially, you paid those 2,000 life points, and then your turn, the easy way to remember, is always going to be an odd number because your turn, the turn that you activate it, counts as turn number 1. So as you're going along, just remember that you will always be the odd number and your opponent will always be the even number. Just an easy way to remember it. Basically, you get to the end of 20 turns and then you win the duel. And obviously, we have this kitted out to do exactly that, to stall for 20 turns. We have Different Dimension Capsule, which is super spicy card, and it allows you to search any card from your deck to your hand. Although there's a little bit of wonkiness to it. So you select one card from your deck, and you have to remove it from play face down. And during your second standby phase after activation, you destroy this card and add the remove card to your hand. So you would think that your opponent's going to snipe this card and prevent you from getting the card that you search from your deck. But the thing is, you're going to have so many other set cards that they're not really going to be sure whether it's going to be worth it to knock out a different dimension capsule, which is still, it's going to take a couple of turns for its effect to go off, versus all of these other numerous face downs that you have, right? So, different dimension capsule is just not going to be high on their priority list of things that they want to get rid of. So, you don't really have to worry about them trying to blow it up. So the fun part is now we get to just talk about the traps. And I just love the synergy of some of these traps with Big Shield Gardna. So obviously there's Gravity Bind, which is limited to 2, and level 4 or higher monsters just straight up can't attack. So anything that's level 3 or below, it's not going to have more than 2,600 attack, right? So there's no way they're going to be able to clear it as long as Gravity Bind is on the field because nothing can attack. And if anything, level 3 can attack, it's not going to have enough to clear him. Then we have Skill Drain, which is really good because it blocks your opponent's monsters, and it also protects Big Shield Gardna from his negative effect, which flips him into attack. So skill drain, gravity bind, and big shield Gardna, that creates your wall. And you're just hiding behind big shield Gardna's um, big shield. A little redundant. Then here comes all the fun cards because these are all chainables. Well, except for negate attack. But compulsory evacuation device, you can use this offensively or defensively. Bounce away your opponent's monster back to their hand, or you can use it to protect your own monster from getting destroyed, or one of your jars getting knocked. You can just chain compulsory, bounce your jar back to hand, and it dodges knock. So use it offensively, defensively. Threatening roar is better out of threatening roar and wabaku. Threatening roar just straight up says you can't declare an attack. Your opponent can't declare an attack, and it's chainable to things like giant trunade, MST, heavy storm, breaker, all that good stuff. Wabaku, it's not as good as threatening roar because of one thing that it allows. It says you don't take battle damage and your opponent and your monsters can't be destroyed by battle this turn. However, your opponent can attack with DD Warrior Lady and use its effect to banish your monster. So Wabaku is a little weaker than Threatening Roar, but it's still really good in this deck in essentially stalling, right? Just for a turn. Replaying Negate Attack. This one, it's not chainable, but man, it's nasty because it's a spell speed 3. It's a counter trap. When an opponent's monster declares an attack, target the attacking monster, negate the attack, and straight up just end the battle phase. So if they attack, you just negate it, end the battle phase, none of their other monsters can attack. They can't do anything about it unless they have something that is also a spell speed 3, so they need to have another counter trap. Are they really going to pay a Solemn just to allow one attack to go through, right? So it's super nice card, and I actually really love it, and the fact that you can play 3 of it. It seems a little busted, but I mean, no one's really playing Final Countdown, so it's not that busted. So you have all of these as, compulsory, Wabaku, threatening roar, they're all chainable. Then you have skill drain, solemn, gravity bind, and negate attack. These ones, they're going to be sitting on your field in face down defense or face up, right, for the continuous. So skill drain and gravity bind, I'm sorry, those will actually be face up. These will be face down, but fake trap protects all of these. All of these are protected with Fake Trap. You activate only when your opponent activates a spell, trap, or effect monster's effect that would destroy a trap card or cards you control. It doesn't specify if they're face up or face down. You destroy this card instead. So this is like the sacrificial lamb, and this will actually take the hit for all of your other trap cards if they're going to get targeted by something like a breaker, right? MST, Dust Tornado, Heavy Storm. Fake Trap will take the hit even with things like Heavy Storm where it's blowing up multiple traps. Because here you'll see that it says plural. It has a plural for trap cards, so it'll take the hit. If the cards that would have been destroyed are face down, you can look at them to confirm. So if you have a face down Solemn, you have a face down Negate Attack, and you use Fake Trap to protect, you have to flip them and reveal to your opponent, but they get flipped face down and they're protected from being destroyed. What's also really nice about Fake Trap is it does not protect your opponent's spell or trap cards. Well, sorry, it does not protect your opponent's trap cards from being destroyed. So if they activate Heavy Storm and they have set traps, Fake Trap only protects your trap cards, right? Trap cards you control, the owner. So it's kind of nice. I've ran into that situation before. So that's the core of the deck. Just a ton of trap cards that are stall. A lot of them are chainable. The ones that stay out, that are continuous, you protect them with either Solemn or Fake Trap. And then you have Big Shield to protect your life points. And then you have all your chainables to also protect your life points or protect your Big Shield if it's put into attack position and it's compromised. For the side deck, I didn't really give it too much thought. I just kind of did a generic, you know, smokescreen into burn because this already plays a ton of traps. So you just swap out some of your stall cards for burn cards instead, and then you swap these cards in as answers to your opponent's royal decrees, Jinzos, and cards that negate traps. Okay, so let's go into the stratagems. They're fairly quick. As you guys know, the countdown deck, it's a countdown deck. So that's your win con. You need to see Final Countdown as soon as possible. Otherwise, your defenses are just being wasted, not going towards your win con, right? So that's why we run different dimension capsule, just so that's like we're playing 5 copies of Final Countdown. We need to see it as soon as possible, and hopefully we see it, and then hopefully we don't see it after that, and we just see traps and monsters to protect us. Other stratagems with the deck is that essentially you're running 6 copies of your monster wall in Big Shield Gardena. Because he's a level 4 warrior, he's also searchable with Rhoda. And if you really need to, you can search him with Sangan as well. Not only that, he synergizes with your floodgates and your traps, namely in Skill Drain and uh, Gravity Bind. So if you have those on the field and you have Big Shield, you pretty much have a impenetrable wall. So they're not going to be touching your life points without getting rid of either your monster or your spell and traps first. Then talking just about the traps, obviously Wabaku, Threatening Roar, Chainable, protects your monsters, protects your life points, and then Negate Attack, like I mentioned, Spell Speed 3. It's nasty. Then Compulsory, it's also chainable and it's both offensive and defensive because you can use it to get rid of your opponent's monsters and also protect your jars. So it's really just defensive. I don't know why I said offensive and defensive. And then Skill Drain, Gravity Bind plus Gardena equals Delay of Game, which is, in this deck, exactly what you want because that creates your wall. And that is the deck profile. This one was really fun to make, and I just really loved that I got to center a deck entirely around Big Shield Gardena and entirely around Final Countdown. Just 2 of the most stall-heavy cards in GOAT format. This was really a lot of fun to build, and it's been a while, so I hope you enjoy the deck, and I hope to have more vids up for you guys soon. Take it easy. Later.